you mentioned about financial stability. My next question is, earlier we mentioned that this is a framework, ESG is a framework, and to be able to embrace that, you have to come up with initiatives, with strategies, with programs, and everything. And I'm sure, maybe not all, but majority of these programs and initiative would need funds, investment, or perhaps human resource, something like that. So how do you think startup organizations that like to embrace this can balance the financial performance and ESG investment or performance? So what can you advise these companies?
All right. Yeah, I can
perhaps
take
you
a
can
first crack on
start
that.
with this one.
Yes. Yeah, maybe if there's any, well, that assumes that there's a trade-off between ESG performance and financial performance. But, I believe that, I think that if there is any trade-off, it's really just in the short term, because for me, costs related to ESG initiatives are really investments. So in the same way that, all types of investments, are expected to generate returns in the future, it should be for ESG initiatives as well. So while we while we take care of our ESG performance, our ESG initiatives should create value for the company so that it translates to profits and it improves our financial performance as well. So it cannot. Yes. So it's, for me, it's really just an investment that would generate value. For example, if companies would like to reduce their emissions, so they look for ways to also reduce their energy consumption or resort to energy efficient equipment. So this naturally reduces their electric bills, which of course reduces their costs and translates to higher profits for the company. So it's not really just about costs. There are really tangible ways or results, even financial results that would redound to the company if they engage in these ESG practices. Actually, on the other hand, there's actually also a cost maybe bigger at that if they don't do ESG. Because
in the future,
in the future, not only because maybe of the fines, penalties, but they could also lose access to market, to customers. They could lose their customers, access to finance as well.
Any other thoughts on that?
Yeah, just to add, and I love how BSP recently, is taking, stepping up now because they recently released the sustainable taxonomy. So somehow I feel like it's a support for the companies who want to invest in green investments, right? But that's another topic. But I love that as a country we're also embracing the sustainable taxonomy. So maybe a brief background about sustainable taxonomy. It discusses or it states which investments are sustainable and which are not.
I think that's related to my next question. There are lots of programs, initiatives, strategies coming up, new trends in relation to ESG. But there's this thing I read about impact investing. So investment also, the impact investment investing. But I'm not so familiar on this one. I don't know how is it being implemented or embraced in the Philippines right now. Are we there already? So perhaps Dianne can give us something or your thoughts about this one.
Yeah, on the impact investing.
Yeah, it's something new, I think. I don't know, for me.
I think pre-pandemic, we were talking about it already, the impact investing. But anyway, it's really just your financial strategy where you allocate your investments to investments that would bring you more environmental and social returns alongside the financial returns as well. So you integrate the ESG framework into that because you allocate your investments into something that would bring more
value.
Value. In terms of investing.
So it's about thinking where to invest. that would give you a return related to something like that?
Yeah, it's more in your investments, no, being able to create a positive impact. For example, in the environment, in the society. No, for example, investing in a fintech that caters to like the marginalized, or so like it addresses financial inclusion. So it gives access to finance, no, access to finance. So and then maybe investments on energy efficient. So
parang it's channeling your funds to
Okay.
investments that are driving measurable ESG outcomes.
Yeah. Okay. But I have a question. I'm an auditor. So I'm thinking of a risk. So right, you're investing on an organization that's saying that they are supporting climate change, something like that. So perhaps there could be some risk on that one, on the real value of that organization you're investing. So is there any like controls that the government is currently doing to be able to somehow prevent I think greenwashing or something like that, or abuse on this investment? I know that there are some being done by the government. Can you like mention something, a rule, a law, or
I think one control is the BSP, Sustainable Taxonomy, right? If you read deeper the Sustainable Taxonomy, there's a portion there where it requires a verification, right? Okay. Whether if it's really a green investment or not. And I think that's one of the control, countrywide level control. Not because we have ELC, right? Entity level control. I think that's the countrywide level control.
I think the other aspect is voluntarily the companies, they also get assurance on
the third party.
They get third party assurance to check if their allocation of the sustainable funds that they have raised are really on the right. That's dependent as well on the sustainable taxonomy guidelines that has been published by
That's important kasi to prevent abuse or.
And maybe that also to add, in terms of the reporting side, in the sustainability reporting, the SEC as well has it's in its pipeline already that they will be requiring assurance on the sustainability reports in the future, because that is something that will help remove greenwashing in the reports of companies.
Medyo nakakatakot kasi.
Because it's very the mainstream that companies may have several inputs in the sustainability reports, hence the importance of an independent party to look in the information that they put into the report.
Objective assessment.
You can put a lot of your claims in the report, but when you get it assured, it's another story na.
Excited na ba kayo?
I'm glad our government is doing really some controls to minimize the possible risk on this area. Okay.